Massive news today. The United States voted against a Europe-led resolution at the United Nations to condemn Russia for the invasion of Ukraine, and then later a U.S.-led resolution passed the Security Council. Talk to us about what happened there. At the
Well, on the broader resolution, we think the UN needs to get, if it's going to be useful in the 21st century, the UN needs to get back to its charter mission, which is the prevention and the ending of war and conflict. And so we felt, everyone knows, you can go back and read newspaper articles over the last 3 years and figure out what happened in Ukraine. But now, as the president's made very clear, President Trump wants to end this war. He thinks far too many people have died and he wants to bring it to an end. So we didn't feel it was conducive, frankly, to have something out there at the UN that's antagonistic against either side. We're trying to get these guys to the table. And unfortunately, Ukraine didn't agree. They wanted to move forward on theirs. We then went to the Security Council with our compromise, which I think is a very fair language, and it basically says war is a terrible thing. I mean, I'm paraphrasing and I'm being simplistic, but it says war is a terrible thing. Way too many people have died. This war needs to end in a way that's enduring. In essence, echoing President Trump's view of what this conflict needs to be, and reminding the United Nations that the purpose of the United Nations was the prevention of war and the ending of conflicts, not making it harder to end conflicts. So I thought it was good that we got it done at the Security Council. The Russians didn't veto it, which is a good sign. I'm not telling you that that is going to end this conflict, and I can't wait till Elise Stefanik is there because it'd be great to have her leadership. But I certainly think our language is better language and hopefully furthers the cause of peace.
President Trump today, alongside French President Emmanuel Macron, said that he hopes that this can be resolved in a matter of weeks, not months, weeks. What are some of the major steps that we need to take to get to that point?
Well, I think the president would want it to end yesterday, right? He thinks already too many people have died. There's been too much destruction. By the way, I think everybody should be very happy that President Trump is a peace president. We have a president that wants to end wars, not start new ones. He wants to end human suffering, not exacerbate it or extend it. Now, that said, it's a conflict. It's a war. And it's going back and forth. We got to get them both to the table, starting with the Russians. So we met with them last week, and the basic question of that meeting was, are you interested in ending this conflict or not? A lot of people don't know the answer to that. If you talk to some in Europe, they'll tell you that Putin is not interested in ending the war. They said they would be under the right conditions. We didn't discuss what those conditions were. So the next step now is to meet with them again at some point with the right group of people in the room and begin to outline what would it take for Russia to stop a war. And obviously we got to ask Ukraine the same question, because you can't stop a war unless both sides agree to it. So whether it takes days or weeks or what have you, we're going to begin that process. It may not work out, but why would anybody criticize President Trump for wanting to end a war that's cost billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of lives, and tremendous and ongoing human suffering?